POV, we're hot and no men approaching us.
This is exactly what's happening at bars and clubs because men are no longer falling for it. They are no longer just throwing their money out at women that do not take them seriously.
This is a symptom of modern feminism. The reason why men aren't approaching these women is because women have become insufferable, rude, low IQ, rambunctious, masculine, crass, headaches. Any of you guys here play chess? The most powerful piece on the board is the queen, but the king is the most important piece. You lose the king, the game is over. However, if you lose the queen, the game ain't over. And better yet, you can get a pawn to the other side and then turn that into a queen. So what's the bottom line here? Women are replaceable. Very. You guys are the queen makers, all right? So check this out. Going back to the dating shit. This was a very interesting clip that came across my desk over here at Misogyny Headquarters. POV, we're hot and no men approaching us.
This is exactly what's happening at bars and clubs because men are no longer falling for it. They are no longer just throwing their money out at women that do not take them seriously. They are no longer willing to waste their time, effort, and resources. But because of this, women are out here trying to give men a bad rap. Like they're saying, what's wrong with men these days? They used to go to war. Now they just want to be treated like a woman at a bar. But that is just not the case because men will absolutely put in just as much effort as they always have into pursuing you. But it takes one thing, and that one thing is that he has to know that you are taking him seriously. Because one of the #1 resources to a man is his time, and he doesn't want you to waste it. And even if it's a short-term thing, like he just doesn't want to leave that relationship and have a messed up head and a messed up heart. Because that man just wants a future with somebody that he can really fall in love with and grow old with. Which is why he already knows with like 95% certainty that him paying for your drink at the bar is not going to bring him closer to that.
Now look, you guys know what I always say. I think dating coaches suck. But I also understand that since, back to what we were discussing before, women don't like to hear the truth, right? And they want it from a palatable presentation. Women sometimes can get through to women better than I can, right? So what's going on here? We're starting to see the separation or the destruction of conventional dating and meeting in ways that our parents, grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and those before them used to meet. It used to go, you went to high school, you knew the people in your town, you shacked up with the girl that you liked the most in elementary school, you got married, you had kids, boom, right? White picket fence, it is what it is. But now, things have changed so much where feminism has come in and made it where women prioritize career and income over obtaining themselves a man for long-term provisioning to build a family, right? And these women standing here saying, POV, we're hot and no men approach us. This is a symptom of modern feminism, okay? The reason why men aren't approaching these women is because women have become insufferable, rude, low IQ, rambunctious, masculine, crass, headaches, okay? With the explosion of red pill information and the popularity of it, we've been able to wake up a lot of guys. Now, with that said, we're still a minority, guys. Men that think like us are still a minority, right? But we are making an impact slowly but surely. Men are waking up and realizing that dealing with women is a lopsided arrangement, okay? They're figuring this out, and they're responding to it in multiple different ways. Whether it's they're no longer going to bars, whether it's they're focusing on other things, whether it's they use dating apps exclusively so they don't waste their time. Women not getting as much attention as they used to is a byproduct of them and their ostracization of the average man. Okay? The average man in America, 5'8", average build, 30 to 60K per year, is virtually invisible to a majority of women. Right? And the reason why is because women have this mindset of the grass is always greener on the other side. And thanks to the internet, TikTok, Instagram, dating apps, etc., women have access to higher status men from all over the world. Going back to the example I gave you guys before, no? It used to be you married your high school sweetheart and that's it. Or if there was a hot girl in town, she was limited to her immediate geographic area for finding a partner. Now, there's no geographic limitations. She can go anywhere, okay? She can go anywhere. if you guys remember, or if you guys know, any of you guys here play chess, the most powerful piece on the board is the queen, but the king is the most important piece. You lose the king, the game is over. But the queen is the most powerful piece from an attack position because she could travel as many spaces as she wants in any direction as she wants. That is the average woman, chat. Okay? In an incredible amount of latitude in maneuvering their life. However, if you lose the queen, the game ain't over. And better yet, you can get a pawn to the other side and then turn that into a queen. Why am I using this example? I'm using this example because I'm trying to wake men up and let them realize that, number one, most women don't deserve the man that they're trying to get. Number two, never compromise yourself for some thoughts. And then number three, you need to be aware of this so that you can go ahead and get the best girl that you can get. I don't want you guys ending up like dumb Kosh, where you got to on the internet constantly saying things that embarrasses you. Ridiculous. So what's the bottom line here? Women are replaceable. Very. Though they have power and can move in any direction, any amount of spaces they want. If you lose the queen, the game ain't over. And better yet, you can get a pawn on the other side, turn that into a queen. You guys are the queen makers, all right? And I'm not saying that to blow smoke up your asses or whatever, but we need men to exercise a little bit of hubris that our female counterparts are able to exercise every day. The average woman is extremely cocky, arrogant, rude, rambunctious, disrespectful, has a high regard for herself, even though she hasn't accomplished anything besides smoking weed and being a whore. They chronically overvalue themselves on the sexual market scale. Whereas if you compare and contrast that with men, men chronically undervalue themselves in the sexual market value scale. So men not approaching these girls is the logically sound conclusion of what feminism set out to do. Feminism, their goal originally was to create equality between the genders. But now what feminism has done is that it's made superiority between the two genders where women have all the advantages. Men are slowly starting to wake up and realize, wait, hold on one sec. You want me to be a gentleman, charming, charismatic, have money, educated, witty, cool, and asshole, but at the same time nice, a family man, yet still have the ability to be a player. Wait, what? Like their wants are unrealistic, completely unrealistic. That's the delusional world that we're in. And men not approaching women is a natural outcome because women ignore a majority of men. What do you think? You know, what did you think was going to happen here? If you ask the average girl, what percentage of men do you think are over 6 foot tall that make $100,000 per year? You know what these dumb girls will say? 50%?
You stupid.
No concept, no grasp of how rare the man is that they want. Zero concept. Because they go, well, I got NBA players in my DMs. And, dummy, that doesn't mean anything. Niggas just want to smash. But they conflate getting attention from men as getting marriage opportunities from men. The two are not the same.
You stupid.
And what's worse is these men that are hitting on them and all this other shit, they prop up their ego where a chick that's a 5 gets invited to a party, meets an A-list celebrity, maybe he smashes her, maybe he doesn't. Now, her bar is, I can date celebrities. Not knowing really what it is you can only celebrities. But they conflate the two because they're low IQ.
You stupid.
Like I said at the top of the show, a lot of modern day females don't have critical thinking skills, unfortunately. So men are walking away, dude. You know, this has been going on for many years. More and more men are having a difficult time dating, getting married, finding a girlfriend, etc. So a lot of guys are just choosing porn and video games over these. If I'm gonna be all the way 1,000 with y'all. You know, that's what's going on now. Literally, that's what's going on.